Hey folks, Mike McFarland here, the Lake Fork guide and owner of McFarland Fishing. I'm out on water today with Mr. Joe Coker, and today we're going to teach you how to find and properly mark the heart, the center of a shell bed.
So in this you can see it's hard bottom. It's all hard bottom. It's got red in it. It's going to start getting more thick with yellow, thicker density yellow. Here's that double echo. But I want the hard part of the double echo. So what I'm looking for is where I have red in the echo. Okay, this is a light double echo. Where I get a real good double echo return. More red the better. I'm going to take the graph and I'm going to center on that. So in essence you can see now I'm starting to have a real thick yellow through here. And if I scroll this down, maybe up, right in through here is the shell bed. So about the center of this approximately would be the heart of it, but let's do it in reverse. And here now it's fading now, and now the shell bed's gone. So this whole stretch here is all shell through there, and you can see it by the double echo return. But down here in the deeper water, it's a lot more dense. So now I should be able to show you what I'm talking about.
Okay, I see
So
that.
here's where it's beginning, hard bottom, getting some shell from the top to the bottom here. Up in here now is where the real dense shell is. You can see that I'm starting to really have a nice, dense return double echo. So this is where I would put that waypoint. We're still a little bit deep for me. We're in 30 feet of water. But all of that shell out there. You can see that the life sits in the shell part. That's all bait fish, mostly gizzard shad. We're coming up on top here. In essence, to mark the heart of the shell bed, you have to have the proper setting, and you're going to kind of fan back and forth between the beginnings of the shell bed, the end of the shell bed. Put the cursor on the double echo in the middle of what you've got. This is a really big, long shell bed. The whole thing is shell. Probably 20 or 30 yards. In some cases, they're really small. In some cases, they're very, very minute. They'll literally only be the size of a kitchen table, kind of like I was showing you back here in the deeper water. One little area right here. So I would put the mark in the middle of the red and make a waypoint. And that's going to put that right there in that little heart of that shell spot. So when I'm looking for these shell beds, you can see that here I've got a red semi-hard bottom. I've got hard bottom throughout the whole area. But this red that's intermixed lightens the double echo. It makes the double echo be very faint. Once it gets dense and thick, like here, that double echo should start to have some kind of a red return in it. And that's where you're going to really find it. That's how you're going to find the heart of the shell bed, where there's a red double return. Yeah, that's about it right here. There it is.
Yeah.
And so that relation to that part is how I confirm and find the heart of the shell bed. Alright, so now I think I'm actually, for the first time, coming up real good into the shell. And you'll notice that as soon as I do, you have no bottom, you have bottom contact. You start having the fish contact the bottom. You can see that nice, good red return. See how it's coming to an end there?
Yeah.
Okay, so in here, vicinity is about where that shell is. You can see the nice, bright, I like to see a cleaner yellow with less. This is a brush pile that's just breaking the sonar. Big solid brush pile, and there are a few bass around it. You can see the bigger arches that are mixed in here. Those are some bass. There's some ball bait, a little bit of bait mixed in there. But in essence, and you can see how that returns. See, so here's your shell bed. On the outside edge, there's the shell, and it goes away as we get up on top. See how it has the red mixed in it? And it has less, should have less red in it. I haven't quite got your settings 100%. But you can see, got red dots, a lot of red, and the red thins, it becomes more yellow, thicker yellow, and cleaner yellow. And that's that shell bed. Again, one more time, with the double echo return. Red. If the settings are right, you're going to have a red. Quagga mussels and zebra mussels will actually run a triple echo. Because quagga mussels and zebra mussels build on top of each other, it gets thicker and thicker. These are just freshwater mussels laying down dense on a shell upon shell, not shell on top of shell. But that's what you're doing to find the shell beds. All right. In essence, what I do, again, redundant here, but I'll find the center of it, put the cursor in the center, and make my waypoint. Typically, I want to absolutely label it, so I usually use a symbol like this. I like to make it red, and I'm going to actually be sure to label shell bed. Save. But now on the mapping, you'll see that it's giving you.
Give it a second. It'll be on the other one too. You don't.
I didn't even think about your cursor. I should have changed the. I'm going to go back because you're already using so much of that red. I'm going to go back and change the icon to an X, and I'll change it red and save it. Now we can see it a little bit better. So now we can see our red X back here. Now this should give you an idea of what I typically do. If we were had my setup where you put this cursor, I would put an American flag. Okay, so I put American flag right here. Let's go change this to an American flag, and I call this the boat setup. Come on. Okay. Now once I've saved that boat setup position, now we'll know that we go put the boat on that position. With the boat in that position, if I've done my homework out here, I have 2 or 3 shell beds out here. I put the boat in this and I have cast to positions. It changes everything. Instead of just fishing random, we're actually having a system where I've found the shell beds, marked the heart of the shell beds in the area, put the boat in a specific place, as you'll see here. So here's our shell bed, here's the boat positioning.
Yeah.
And in essence, on my sonar, I've got a shell bed over here and a shell bed potentially over here. So when I put the boat on the flag, okay, which we're heading to now, again, it should make sense to you that I put the boat on the flag and it gives us specific cast to hit the heart of the shell bed. That's the most important thing. If I'm off the edges of the shell bed, the shell bed basically serves like a deer feeder. The shells thrive in an area that has high plankton. Okay, the shells themselves are irrelevant to the bass fishing. They help me find a source of plankton, high dense source of plankton, a live action zone. So where that plankton is, the bait fish come. Where the bait fish come, the bass come. And so in essence, by doing this throughout the lake and having 100 different setups, this is one setup. It'll have 2 or 3 multiple casts. You can also add into it maybe some brush piles. So maybe from this spot I've got 2 or 3 shell beds that I've found close enough to throw to, and a brush pile or 2, or a lay down tree. So potentially everything I'm doing here on Fork is I'm building myself an understanding of what's down below. I'm going to put the boat in a specific spot that gives me specific cast to these targets, shell beds, brush piles, lay down trees, whatever. But it's very critical that bow position is everything. Sometimes I'll even have to change the angle on the fish. So maybe we've caught them for a little bit, or maybe they're just not even biting. Merely change the angle that we're throwing across those shell beds, and boom, you trigger the bite. The wind is the most important thing in this. The most active shell bed today, this is a daily deal. I cannot say I'm going to go fish this shell bed tomorrow. The most active shell beds today will be the ones that have direct wind or current effect on them. That makes them active. They become live active zone. That's a deer feeder that's got full food in it, and the deer potentially are going to visit it. So if you have a shell bed that's got wind and current coming into it, the shells activate, the plankton's in there, the bait fish activate, and the bass activate. It's a very simple scientific theory.
So folks, that is how you locate and properly mark the center of the shell bed. I assure you the Lake Fork is filled with thousands and thousands of shell beds from end to end, both shallow and deep. If you'll use this methods that I've shown you how to be more precise when you turn around to fish the shell bed, you'll find more success.